A fight for Lily, a father's battle against neighborhood cruelty. The sun had barely risen over Maplewood Grove, a pristine suburban neighborhood in upstate New York, when I heard my daughter Lily's terrified scream from the backyard. "Daddy, the mean lady took my heart machine." At 5 years old, Lily depended on a portable heart monitor to survive her congenital heart condition. Standing over her, clutching the device like a trophy, was Margaret Hensley, the self-appointed enforcer of our HOA. What Margaret didn't know was that I, Daniel Harper, was the county district attorney, and her actions had just crossed a dangerous legal line. This is the story of how one woman's cruelty sparked a battle that changed our community forever. Lily's condition had haunted us since her birth. Her tiny heart, riddled with defects, fought harder than any child's should. The heart monitor, tucked into a pink backpack adorned with daisies, was her lifeline, tracking her rhythm and ready to deliver a life-saving shock if her heart faltered. My wife, Emily, passed away in a car crash when Lily was 2, leaving me to navigate this medical maze alone. As a district attorney, I'd faced murderers and cartels, but nothing terrified me more than the thought of losing Lily. Maplewood Grove seemed like the perfect place to raise her. The quiet streets, manicured lawns, and community programs for kids with disabilities promised safety and support. Most neighbors were kind Mrs. Larson baked cookies for Lily's bad days, and the Garcias planted sunflowers she loved to admire. But Margaret Hensley, a recent arrival, changed everything. In her mid-60s, with sharp eyes and a clipboard always in hand, she obsessed over HOA rules, measuring hedges, and timing holiday decorations. Her first target was our wheelchair ramp, which she called an eyesore despite its ADA compliance. The HOA dismissed her complaint, but it only fueled her vendetta. That Tuesday, I was working from home, preparing for a high-profile case against a trafficking ring. Lily played in our backyard, arranging pebbles she'd collected. Her soft giggles filled the air until her voice turned frantic. "Daddy, the mean lady's here." I rushed to the window to see Margaret storming across our lawn, her face twisted with rage. Lily hid behind me, trembling. "She said my backpack's ugly and sick kids shouldn't play outside," Lily whispered. "She said I scare the normal kids." Rage surged through me, but I stayed calm for Lily. Margaret pounded on our door, shouting, "Your child's device violates community standards. This isn't a hospital." She waved a folder stuffed with papers, clearly prepared for a fight. "Lily needs that monitor to live," I said, my voice steady. "It's not negotiable." Margaret scoffed. "HOA rules demand aesthetic harmony. That thing's a nuisance, beeping and disturbing everyone." Lily tugged my sleeve. "Daddy, what's a nuisance?" My heart sank. "Nothing you are, sweetheart." Over the next week, Margaret's harassment escalated. She followed Lily, snapping photos of her playing, and emailed the HOA daily, demanding they ban her disruptive equipment. She told other kids Lily was contagious, causing little Sammy Garcia to cry, fearing he'd catch her condition. Lily had nightmares, asking if her monitor scared people. She hid it under baggy shirts, risking its functionality. One night, she looked at me with tear-filled eyes. "Daddy, maybe I should stay inside. I don't want to scare anyone." I held her close. "You're perfect, Lily. Some people just fear what they don't understand." The HOA president, Mr. Thompson, called to apologize. "Margaret's out of line. Lily's equipment is protected." But Margaret didn't stop. She launched a Facebook group, Preserving Maplewood's Charm, posting photos of Lily's backpack and petitioning to review residents with medical issues. Most neighbors refused to engage, but the stress was crushing Lily. "Why does she hate me?" she asked one night, her small hand on her chest. "Your heart's different, not broken," I said. "It's full of love." The breaking point came on a Thursday. I was on a critical call with the state attorney general when Lily's scream pierced the air, not a playful cry, but raw terror. Dropping the phone, I ran outside. Margaret stood over Lily, who was crumpled on the grass, sobbing. The heart monitor backpack was in Margaret's hands. "This ugly thing's going to the HOA office," she sneered. "Maybe they'll finally act." Lily's lips were turning blue, her breathing shallow. "Give it back," I demanded. "She needs it to live." Margaret laughed. "Admit she doesn't belong here first." When I reached for my phone to call 911, she snatched it. Something snapped, not as a father, but as a prosecutor who'd seen too many bullies harm the innocent. "Lily, Go inside and call 911, I said. She stumbled toward the house, her heart struggling. Margaret, you've just committed felonies. Theft, child endangerment, assault. Her smirk faded when I dialed my office on a backup phone. This is District Attorney Daniel Harper. I need units at my address now. Suspect in custody. Neighbors gathered, drawn by the commotion. Mrs. Larson filmed on her phone. Sirens wailed as police and an ambulance arrived. Paramedic Joe Torres, who knew Lily well, rushed to her side. "Where's her monitor?" he asked urgently. I pointed to Margaret, still clutching it. Officer Bennett, a colleague, demanded she hand it over. "This is harassment." Margaret protested. "I'm protecting our standards." Joe snapped. "That device is keeping a child alive. Give it now." Reluctantly, she complied. The paramedics reconnected Lily's monitor, revealing a heart rate of 190, dangerously high. "We need to transport her," Joe said. In the ambulance, Lily clung to my hand. "Daddy, I thought my heart would stop." At the hospital, Dr. Rachel Cohen confirmed the stress had triggered a severe arrhythmia. "This incident may have worsened her condition," she warned. As I sat by Lily's bed, watching her fragile heartbeat on the hospital monitor, I vowed to ensure no child would endure this again. The next morning, I called my deputy, Laura. "Build a case against Margaret, every charge possible." Laura hesitated. "You're sure, given it's personal?" "Exactly why I must," I replied. "She endangered my daughter. If I don't act, who will?" We uncovered Margaret's history. In Nevada, she'd harassed a family with an autistic child, targeting their sensory equipment. In Oregon, she'd reported a wheelchair ramp as unauthorized. She preyed on vulnerable families, driving them out. Margaret was charged with child endangerment, theft of medical equipment, harassment, assault, and ADA violations. Her lawyer, Victor Crane, claimed she was upholding community values, but the evidence was damning. At the trial, neighbors testified about her cruelty. Mrs. Larson recounted Margaret telling her son Lily was dangerous. Sammy Garcia, now 8, said, "She told me Lily's heart would make mine sick. But Lily's nice. She shares her crayons." Dr. Cohen explained the monitor's critical role, noting the stress had destabilized Lily's heart. In my closing argument, I spoke from the heart. This case is about Lily Harper, a 5-year-old with a medical condition but an unbreakable spirit. She loves daisies and fairy tales. Margaret Hensley decided Lily's needs didn't fit her perfect neighborhood. She stole a life-saving device from a child. Lily deserves to play, to feel safe. Margaret chose cruelty over kindness. Find her guilty for Lily and every child who feels different. The jury deliberated for an hour. Margaret was convicted on all counts, sentenced to 6 months in jail, 3 years of probation, 600 hours of community service with disabled children, and ordered to pay Lily's medical costs. The case sparked Lily's Law, making it a felony to tamper with medical devices. It gained national attention, inspiring similar laws in 10 states. Maplewood Grove transformed. Neighbors held a Hearts for Lily block party, wearing pink to honor her. The HOA passed protections for residents with disabilities and created a support fund. Lily began playing outside again, her backpack now a badge of courage. One day, we saw a moving truck. A boy, Ethan, in a wheelchair, played in his new yard. Lily ran over. "Hi, I'm Lily. Your wheelchair's cool. Want to be friends?" Ethan's mom, Claire, thanked me, saying they'd moved here because of Lily's story. That night, as I tucked Lily in, she said, "Daddy, I'm glad Ethan's here. Can we find more kids like us?" Smiling, I realized Margaret's cruelty had backfired. It showed Lily the face of hate, making her kinder. Her monitor's soft beeps, once a reminder of fear, now sounded like a song of resilience. Justice wasn't just Margaret's punishment, it was Lily's joy, her friendships, and a community that embraced differences. What do you think about this story? Have you ever witnessed or experienced injustice like this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Should bullies like Margaret face harsher consequences, or is redemption possible? Let's discuss how we can stand against cruelty in our own lives.